Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining the Frisco Report tonight. Got a lot of news to go through. We are entering the bye week. And let's get right into this. It's serious. You know how we do it? Cowboy time, baby. Let's do it. Mike, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, Joe? How we doing this week?
We're doing great. We're coming off a loss, but, that's what we're going to talk about. The future of the Cowboys, where we're at right now. We're 2-7 on the season. We're in the bye week now, and also it looks like we're in COVID protocol because of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, got a couple of things going on. News-wise, we got Trevon Diggs, foot injury, broken foot. It's a fracture, however you want to call it. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, short-term IR. I think he's done for the season. I don't know if you want to rush him back, but that's the latest there on the injury news there, Mike. Let's get into the conversation, everybody. And as we're going along, make sure you guys continue to comment and put some questions in here, and we'll get to that in the second half of tonight's show. But, Mike, 2-7, how are you feeling about the Cowboys right now?
2-7. Bill Parcells used to say, "You are what your record is," and that's what we are, and that's who we are. Our fourth quarterback, they cut those sorry free agency pickups in Dontarian Poe, Darryl Worley. They traded Everson Griffin off, and that's where we're at now. And big shout out to the guys stepping up for those moves. Neville Gallimore. I said right here on the Frisco Report and on Twitter that you guys are going to love him. And the guy's going to make plays. He was the fastest defensive tackle at the combine this past year. So he's right now he's meeting expectations for the opportunities that he's getting. But at the end of the day, Cowboys are 2-7, Joe, and they could probably have a better record if the defense was playing, faster and better. And Dak Prescott didn't get hurt, things like that. But no excuses. The record is what the record is, and we're number 3 in the draft, and that's what obviously you got to look forward to, because you don't want to make a wild card game and lose it because you're killing about 7 or 8 spots just getting in that wild card spot. So there's no need for that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Tankathon has us going number 3 overall. So you got the Jets number 1. They could have helped out, but they couldn't close out the Patriots. I thought the Jets might be able to, I talked about this in another podcast, but any of the teams on the Jets schedule, I felt like they play the Patriots really good every year. So they might have been able to sneak out 2 there, but they lost this one. So I don't know if the Jets get another win, Mike. So it looks like they're going to clinch that up. It looks like they're going to clinch that up. But for the Cowboys conversation, 2-7, we're in the bye week. Is it still auto tank? Is this team still in auto tank mode? They're talking about Garrett Gilbert. I think a lot of fans, I did a poll in my community, and it was like 82%, want Garrett Gilbert after the bye. But, in some of these interviews, they're talking about, we're going to go with Andy Dalton. What's your thoughts on that? Everybody in the comment chat box, do you guys want to go with Garrett Gilbert, or do you want to go with, Andy Dalton? What's your take there on this, Mike?
Well, I want to go with Garrett Gilbert, simply for the fact Dalton is on a 1-year deal, and you can get just Jason Gilbert in here. What's his name? Garrett Gilbert on on another 1 year deal while Andy Dalton's looking for something else. So, you want to make sure that you have a good solid backup. And it sounds like they want to keep Dak on the team and sign him and things of that sort. So get Dak a good backup. And right now, I get it. It's one game. But if you look what he did at the AAF, he's a gunslinger. He's a pocket awareness guy, very elusive in the pocket, stepping up, moving around, bootlegs, things of that sort. So Cowboys really have a good backup quarterback in Garrett Gilbert. You need to develop him and really see what you got. Andy Dalton's not promised next year, and I really don't see him on the Cowboys next year either. And Ben DiNucci looked like he just wasn't ready. I get it, 7th-round pick, develop factor, but it should be quarterback instincts to step in that pocket, to step up in the pocket, and he didn't do it. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I might get some heat for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the bust tag on the 7th-round pick, Ben DiNucci, and there's a lot of promise in a first NFL start in Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, man. So for me on Ben DiNucci, I think, they just threw him to the wolves. They threw him into the lion's den. He didn't have a shot at this thing, man. It was a complete disaster. So yeah, he's a developmental guy, 7th rounder. He runs the practice squad. So it was too much to put on his shoulders. They did the right move in bringing Garrett Gilbert in here. I don't agree with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones talking about it's going to be Andy Dalton. He's a statue. I know he's won some games in this league, but there's a reason why Cincinnati moved on from him. You know what I mean? He plateaued. He is what he is. Go with the hot hand. And not that Garrett Gilbert won the game, but, I mean, the way the Cowboys played in that game, Mike, it kind of feels like, they kind of hit the reset button. And, they might, to me, I feel like they could maybe sneak out some wins here. I know there's the faction that want to go full-blown, tank this out. Let's see how close we can get to Trevor Lawrence. But then you have the other faction that is you want to see your team win and things like that. So with fans right now, you're kind of caught in between. For me, I'm in the purgatory here. As I was watching the game, Mike, I was like, man, we can win this. These guys are doing better on defense. They're doing this and that. But I don't know. What's your take on that, Mike?
Well, when I was watching Ben DiNucci, and I like to watch the other players, the leaders on the team, like guys like Amari Cooper, the guys on offense. How do they adapt to Ben DiNucci? And they really didn't draw enough. Kellen Moore really didn't have a lot of faith in play calling with Ben DiNucci. And then you look at against the Steelers, who have a suspect defense. Let's be honest. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and you look how Amari Cooper was pulling towards Gilbert. You look at Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz. It just seems like more players responded with Gilbert under center than with Ben DiNucci or even with Andy Dalton, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, there's hot hand and there's also the team aspect of it too. How are they looking at this quarterback? And I really thought that the majority of this offense really pulled towards Gilbert there, and that's why they're pretty successful.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from the team. You know what I mean? So for Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones to come out here and talk about Andy Dalton, to me, that seems more of a tank type move. Like, nah, this Garrett Gilbert might win us some games. Let's put Andy in here. Let's continue on team tank, low key tanking. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones are going to say this, but to me, I don't know, man. If I'm going with Dalton, I don't see them winning any more games. He's not in the pocket. He couldn't do what Garrett did. Just to be honest, man.
Yeah, and with this defense coming on, and the way the offense responded from Gilbert, I wouldn't be surprised if we win a couple more games. And then the special teams pulling out, those tricks and stuff. I mean, they want to win. And so I have a feeling if they keep Gilbert, we can win some games. Just because if you put Andy Dalton in and we start losing, the young guys, Gallimore and, some of these other guys, after this bye week, they start losing. They're not going to want to play for anything, right? And so I don't know. I think the way this defense is coming along, you want to keep that momentum there. And Gilbert shows a lot of promise on winning a couple of games because at the end of the day, nobody wants to lose. all these guys are competitors at the end of the day, and I just don't see really any NFL tanking, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, from what I'm seeing right now from the Cowboys, they're tanking out of just taking on too many injuries, and the mistakes keep haunting this team. The turnovers, stupid stuff, stupid penalties.
Stupid penalty. They could have scored on that Cedric Wilson to C.J. Goodwin, but Thompson freaking had the block, and he didn't have to touch him. C.J. Goodwin could have went in there, so we left a lot of points on the field for sure.
Yeah, left a lot of points. The refs, they've been on our butt all year too. But I'm not going to blame it on refs. That's
right.
That's just not a good look.
That's what Eagle fans do. We don't do that here.
Yeah, that's what Redskins fans do. But man, so as we look at the team right now, Mike, you have some of these teams that are coming up where we're at right now. They look beatable, So you're talking about Minnesota. They're not that good. Redskins, they're not that good. I'm just going to call them Redskins. I can't say football team. It's stupid. So Redskins, these guys, the Giants again to finish it out. And, the 49ers, they look like crap too. The Ravens with Lamar Jackson, I think they kind of plateaued Lamar over there. So they look beatable. The Cowboys, if they really want to win some games and they put in the right people to win games, they could come out of this season with 5 or 6 wins. But, saying that it's going to be Andy Dalton to me is a little bit of a hint that this is low key tanking, Mike.
Yeah. No, you look at the schedule. It's Washington, Bengals, Eagles, Vikings, Ravens, 49ers, Giants, right? And I don't know. And like I said, Andy Dalton's on the 1-year deal. Put in Gilbert there. Keep Ben DiNucci on the scout team. And and Gilbert got the years of experience. What is he has like 6 years experience or something like that? He has the years of experience. He looked more fluid to me than Andy Dalton or Ben DiNucci. And I think that's the hot hand, and I think they need to roll with it. But 7-9, I could see that, honestly. But, the Redskins, they'll probably get revenge against the Redskins. The Bengals, that could go either way, I honestly think. The Eagles, we got something to prove against them. The Giants, we could beat them again. 49ers, they're pretty beat up. I think we can beat them. The Ravens and the Vikings are going to be pretty tough, though.
Yeah, so – that's what the thumbnail was. Is this team more 2-14 team, or are we closer to 9-7? Where do you think the Cowboys ultimately end on the record, Mike?
What are we, 2-7 now?
Yeah.
All right, bear with me here. 5-7, 5-9, 7-9.
Okay, 7-9. So 7-9, that might win the division. So, seriously, man, 7-9 could win it. 8-8, somewhere along that lines, I think could win the division. So, it's do they want to screw up their draft positioning? So, a lot of fans, a lot of channels are doing more draft coverage because the writing's kind of on the wall. But you do have to recognize the last 2 weeks on defense, they have played a lot better. They have played a lot better on defense. Offense looked a lot better with Garrett Gilbert in there. But we put Dalton in there who can't move, statue. I think that's not going to go well. Steele still out there, so that's not good. Biadasz, he's out, so you got Looney in there again, so that's not good. So it's going to be a challenge to win some more games still. As much as I've seen improvement on the defense, Mike, I don't think it's enough to overcome, all of the injury. And, not to mention Trayvon Diggs, he's going to be out on defense too. So that's a big hit there,
Oh, and Savion Smith, dude, Jesus.
He's no good. He's terrible.
Holy moly, that guy. I could do better than that, and I'm fat.
Yeah, and the thing about Savion Smith, he like backed up, Trayvon Diggs. So he's not a good backup. I didn't like Savion Smith. So
Cheeto Bay's coming back though.
Cheeto's coming back. Let's see how he looks. I'm sure he's gonna be knocking off some rust and that kind of thing. Do we get a look at Reggie Robinson finally, or is he
You
gonna be
better hope so.
deactivated?
You got to look at your young guys, right? I mean, you just can't. You're not going to cut them, so there's no reason to hide them, from other teams. Play the guy, see what you got. But I do like Donovan Wilson has been stepping up, and I think Mario said it here that no one's finally adjusting to this defense. I've been seeing more stunts the last couple of weeks, defensive line stunts, where a defensive tackle will pull and it helps get sacks and stuff. It's almost looking like they're going back to last year's defense, if I'm being completely honest. A lot more stunts, a little bit more blitz and stuff like that. So I like what I've been seeing on that. Good, that's a good point, Mario Flores.
Yeah. So Reggie Robinson, I would like to see him. I want to see him on special teams. It's kind of weird that he's been deactivated through 9 weeks straight. 9 weeks straight. Bradley and I deactivated last week. For what? For Dorrance Armstrong? He ain't doing crap. So I'm like, get him on the field already, man. This is kind of stupid. Like you have 7 weeks now, 7 games to go to get a look at some of these guys in the regular season. So I want a good look at Bradley and I. Can he play at the NFL level? I think he can. If you're just going to pin his ears back and rush the quarterback, he can definitely do that. You know what I mean? So the stubbornness, I think, is coming from the top down, because you're seeing the same stubbornness, Mike, than when we had Garrett. It's the same stubborn crap. Is it Will McClay, the front office? It's you're seeing the same stubbornness, man.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy about it. With the Terrence Steele stubbornness, Jalen Smith stubbornness, Xavier Woods. I mean, and that's 3 players, and I could probably name more, to be honest. Zeke Elliott. I get it. There's no O-line, but how is Tony Pollard picking up all these yards when he gets the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Zeke really lost it. Let's call it what it is. And I mean, there's just a lot of stubbornness on these these personnel decision makings, and I honestly blame it on Stephen Jones. He's the vice president, player personnel, and he carries a big stick when he does good, but when he doesn't do good, he goes off in hiding and wants to avoid questions. So there's just a lot of Stephen Jones hands all over it. I really think so.
Yeah, for sure, man. The thumbprint, is definitely, Stephen Jones and these guys, Will McClay as well. So I don't know, man. We'll see what they do, but for them to say Andy Dalton, it's a little bit of a hint as far as tanking to me, because Garrett Gilbert showed that he could win. He could win this game, man. They could have won, and they can win, I think, with him. So maybe, I don't know if the leash will be short on Andy Dalton if he starts stinking it up, fumbling and bumbling the ball, interceptions and that kind of thing. But you do like to see the improvement on defense, Mike. To me, I didn't see, like, they didn't roll over, like they have earlier in the season. So I think as long as, you're competing and you see some positives as the year goes on, you can keep losing, but as long as you still see, that fight, not lay down and get run over every series like they were earlier on, I feel good about it. You know what I mean? But, if you see a team out here that has completely quit, on both sides of the ball, I don't think the Cowboys are that right now. I think they're slowly bought into the McCarthy, what he wants to do with this team, and maybe a little bit of Mike Nolan as well. But to me, I don't even with that, I don't see us winning many more games, if any, Mike.
No, you're absolutely right. And there's a comment here now that's stretching a bit, saying Zeke has lost it. He has lost it. Well, he hasn't had a 100-yard game in 9-10 games now. I mean, and this stems back to the end of last year. He looked great week 1. If that week 1 Zeke, when we're playing who were we playing week 1? The Rams.
Yeah.
If that week 1 Zeke could be consistent all year, that wouldn't even come out of my mouth. He did great week 1. I mean, he's running with cinder block feet. He's hitting the wrong hole. I think Sunday Night Football called him out on that and blamed it on him. That's all Zeke's fault right there. He hit the wrong hole. Let the stuff develop and go get it. Tony Pollard's lets things develop, and he's getting yardage. I think last year he didn't have a run of 15 or more yards till week 17. That was last year's numbers with the offensive line that we had last year. A lot of people were healthy. A lot of people were there. Zeke has fell off. Let's not turn an eye to that.
Yeah, no, I can't even argue against that because it's true. As he's, we don't know if it's, all the rushing attempts. He's had a whole lot of. They've really run the hell out of Zeke. So, and the shelf life on a running back is not what it used to be, like a Emmitt Smith, a Adrian Peterson. Those days are over. They're running the hell out of these running backs. Burning the gas out and moving on and drafting another player. So, for Zeke. I think you're catching him on the arc. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk about this all the time about a career arc on a player. He was here. The Cowboys kept wasting time, wasting talent, and here we are. This is Zeke right here.
Yeah,
right here. He's right here. So you give it a couple more years, and that's it. That's it. They did the same thing to DeMarco Murray. But they were smart with DeMarco Murray. They let him walk. They didn't pay out the big cash, But you still need a workhorse. You still need a good running back because we saw what happened. When they didn't have Zeke, they tried to do the running back committee with washed up running backs. McFadden, these other guys. It didn't work. So, but I mean, the way that this offense looks like it's built, it looks more of an aerial attack. You know what I mean? With all the weapons that they have at wide receiver, you like what you see in Dalton Schultz. Blake Jarwin will be in the mix as well again. So maybe the emphasis moving forward won't be so big on running back. It was never a centerpiece under Mike McCarthy at Green Bay. He never had a premier must-have running back. He had this decent guys, but
Cheeseburger Lacy.
Yeah, Eddie Lacy for a little bit there. But for the most part, he utilized the weapons, the aerial attack. That's always been McCarthy's game. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there with Zeke. That it's a bad contract. I don't know how the hell they get out of it if they wanted to.
It really is. There's a lot of dead money at stake for the next couple of years. I think Zeke Elliott is the only player extended on over the cap. If you click on the last year tab, Zeke Elliott's name is the only one there. Bad contract. They should have just let him stay in Cabo. But at the same time, they really didn't know what they had in Tony Pollard. They were still trying to lowball Dak Prescott. They shot themselves in the foot on this gamble. And it is what it is.
They really did, man. They tried to play the market. They tried to I mean, it was stupid. Like, okay, so Zeke was holding out in Cabo. Let's make him jealous. Let's give Jalen Smith this crazy bloated contract, and maybe he'll come to the table and sign. That's stupid, dude. Like,
really?
I don't understand that one. And now you look at the Lyle Collins extension. I don't know about that one. That one's not looking too good right now either. But that's not going to hinder them. There's after 2021, if Lyle Collins, if his hip is not good, they got the escape hatch after 2021. So we're fine there. But man, this Ezekiel contract in the way he's playing right now, it didn't step up with the leadership either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Donnell Jenkins has a good point. Zeke doesn't seem to have a work ethic in the offseason. And then that's true. The majority of his offseason was what? Playing video games and being low-key faded.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Jenkins hit it right on the head with that comment, dude. Because I mean, why? I mean, yeah, he was in Cabo working out because he was doing what? Trying to earn that life-changing bag. Now that he has the life-changing bag, his work ethic changed too.
That's what it is, man. Cowboys fans talking in the house. What's up, bro? Zeke is out of
shape. Sub it up.
Yeah, hit my boy Cowboys fan talk. Yeah, does a great job with 2-minute drill. Have him on every Friday afternoon with that one there. But yeah, Zeke out of shape hasn't looked too good. Hasn't looked too good, man. I think I broke down the numbers. He's on pace to have 1,000, barely over 1,000 yards. If they continue on right now, he's averaging 63 point something yards per game. That's the lowest he's had in his career. All right, so not good. Not good. Not for the price tag.
No, not at all. With all those fumbles too, can't be having that.
My boy Gallimore, Julia Artis. Appreciate you checking out the channel, Julia. Gallimore is a beast that needed to be unleashed. He needs more playing time. Yeah, absolutely. I've been on Gallimore's train from the jump. I love this player, man, and I was pounding the table for him to get more snaps. And finally, they got rid of Don Terry Poe, garbage crap. He's taking more snaps from Tyron Crawford and those stiff hips. So I love it, man. I really do. And that's a guy, right, Mike, that looks like a centerpiece for your young defense moving forward, because there's a lot of more rebuilding to go on this defense, right, Mike?
Absolutely. And it starts at the trenches. And Neville Gallimore,
yeah,
he's setting the tone. And like I said, I think it was a couple of shows back, you need to find a guy and build around that, whether it's free agency or in the draft. You got Gallimore. If you want to, groom him up and get him going and be the showstopper, build around him. Get Tank out of here. Or not really Tank, but, build on what Alden Smith can do with upgrade that player. Let's see where Randy Gregory's at by the end of the season. Do you keep him on the roster, right? See what you can build on a guy like Tank Lawrence and Neville Gallimore and Randy Gregory. Get that depth behind there so these guys ain't playing, 60% of 70 snaps, right? Keep that D-line fresh, build around that, start building around your linebackers. Leighton Vander Esch seems way more better than Jalen Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So build around Leighton Vander Esch, build around Trayvon Diggs. You got these pieces that you drafted and that is looking like it's going to pan out, but now it's time to build around them. Don't go bargain hunting and put these players in more job assignments to pick up slack for the guy next to them. Build on those pieces. Offense looks pretty good to me. If they can change up some play calling, be more creative in that aspect of it, when Dak comes back next year, do that. But it's time to start investing in this defense and building the pieces. No more bridge players, Joe.
Yeah, right on. I mean, no more bridge players or players that are stunting the growth of some of these players. I felt that Don Terry Poe was stunting the growth of Gallimore. Obviously, Gallimore's a 3-tech, but he has 1-tech capability. And the way that they're playing them now, they're interchanging all these guys up and down that line. So you'll see him set as a 3. You'll see him as a 1. I like what they're doing there with Gallimore. And he's penetrating that line, making plays, busting up, chasing people down. Great comment there, Julia. Appreciate that one there from Mario Flores. I hope Jalen takes this bye week serious. He played better, but still looks confused and not understanding assignments. The defense overall looked better. I agree there. Glad to see Tank back to this run thing. Yeah, Mike. So Tank, right? A lot of us have been kind of low on him, because the sacks are not there. But, he definitely has looked like he has turned it up here the last 2 weeks, especially this last game. Mike, what's your thoughts on Tank here recently?
You turn on any film with Tank Lawrence, and this is why I really don't talk bad about him, because you could turn on the film and 90's flying down the field. Whether he's getting sacks or not, the guy's running down the offensive line trenches, making tackles. I mean, the guy will get off his lineman, turn around and go try to tackle somebody. And to me, the hustle and the heart that DeMarcus Lawrence plays with, I get it. His job's to get sacks and get sacks in crucial moments.
Hustling.
But exactly, that's what he's doing. He's always hustling, and that's what I like. And if I had an NFL team, I would have Tank on my team just because of the heart on every play. Going 100 miles an hour in the National Football League every play, it's not easy. You turn on the film, you'll see DeMarcus Lawrence do that. So I'm never if I see laziness from Tank, then I'll start saying something. But I get it. His job's to get sacks. but he takes care of other things if he can't get those sacks. So, big fan of Tank, I guess. Not even being biased, though.
Absolutely. And that's the thing you'll get from us here. We never sugarcoat anything. We don't have our heads in the sand. Mike and I always give it to you on the real. So appreciate that, Mario. Great comment there. And I agree with Jalen. There's a lot of work there to do. Marquise Games, they said they wouldn't take a quarterback if we were in the top 2, not 3. So whenever Jerry speaks, there's lies in there. So I would definitely not take it as gospel or the definitive. That's it. We're out of the quarterback game. They got to see how the negotiations go. I mean, there's still a long ways to go here. You know what I mean? There's not. You just don't know right now. But for him to say that right now, I can see why Jerry would say that right now. But at the same time, it's not something that I would recommend a front office person to say, because, let's say the Cowboys don't want to draft a quarterback. You don't want to show your cards. You know what I mean? What if there's a team that wants to move up to your spot? You want to poke their eyes out. You want to get a ransom for the pick. So don't make a comment on the quarterback, Jerry. Come on, bro. You know?
No, I do know. And there was when 2 weeks before Dez Bryant got cut. He was on his little RV that he takes to Mobile, and he sat in that chair. He was drinking him a Dr. Pepper, and the reporter asked him, "Is Dez Bryant going to be on this team week 1?" Jerry Jones looked that man square in the eye and said, "Yes, he will be on this team." Joe, remind everybody listening what happened to Dez Bryant 2 weeks later.
Yeah, he was cut, dude.
Just take everything with the grain. Stephen Jones was telling you guys for 2 years they're going to extend Dak. What happened just a couple of months ago? He signed a franchise tag, right?
Yeah.
Do not buy in to what these guys are selling you. That's what their job is to do. Sell merchandise and sell tickets. Don't buy into their lip drama.
That's what it is, man. And that's where I think a lot of us got really caught. We got hoodwinked this season because we bought into so much of the Dallas Cowboys media machine. Like, oh, we got all these players coming in. We're bringing in all these free agents and this and that, and they didn't do anything with it. So, yeah, man, great comment there, Marquise. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens, but I definitely will not take Jerry Jones' word for they're not in the QB game. So
never.
It's more with Jerry. It's more about I'll believe it when I see it. That's really how you got to take it with Jerry, man. It really is.
When it comes to business, he's probably not lying. When it comes to player personnel, it's grain of salt. You can take it or not.
Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see what else we got in here, guys. Keep the questions and comments coming. I do appreciate that. Okay. Let's see what else we got here, Mike. If you see any that catch your eye, let me know. I'm scrolling through these right now.
Blue Silver says, "Do you think this is Xavier Woods' last year?" And it's the first fresh comment on there, and I honestly think that it is his last year. It's his contract year, and you know a lot of fans gloat about, it's a contract year. They're going to have a good season. That's just not the case for number 25 Louisiana Tech Xavier Woods. I had him having a good year, and I mean he's let me down. So if they keep him, it's probably going to be cheap, but he's going to go cheap somewhere else on another team. I can promise you that.
Yeah, he's not coming back. Like we've talked about this a couple of times, Mike. You know, of the three that are leaving potentially in the defensive back apocalypse, Jordan Lewis, Cheeto, and X Woods. The only one that I legitimately would consider bringing back would be Cheeto. The other guys, they can kick it.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't shown anything to me, man. It was a great story, you know, out of Louisiana Tech. I really liked him coming out the draft. I just felt that he plateaued really early, and you know, you really not get anything more out of the player. So,
and that's the same guy that was crying about playing 70 snaps.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, that was absolutely not a good answer from him. Speaking of secondary players, Cowboys fan talk. What do you guys think about bringing up Reggie Robinson? Might as well now. Yeah, we kind of touched on that earlier. I definitely want to see him in here, and you're letting go of some of these other players, and it's time. It's time to get a look at him. They said they want to make him a safety. Well, let's see what he looks like.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? Because if you're trying to build, especially for next year's draft, you got to know what you got,
Yeah, yeah.
and what you already invested in draft pick. What was he, a 6th-round pick or something like that? You got to go see what you got in him, right? You already gave Ben DiNucci. He was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
Holy biscuits and cheese, and he ain't even playing. That's straight coaching right there, buddy. You got to throw this guy out. I mean, you threw Ben DiNucci to the wolves. Throw this guy out for at least a couple of plays, work him in or something.
I
You got to
know.
see what you got in this 4th-round investment. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a high. It's a relatively high pick, man. You want your 4th rounders to be playing. Robbie Radford. What do you think about Crawford? I think the Cowboys they hung on to him 4 seasons too late. And I mean, they tried to get ahead of the defensive tackle market when they gave him the contract. And then they bounced him out to defensive end. Both his hips were blown out. Too many injuries, man. He's just not giving us anything right now. It's another, they're just going to ride that one out. They're going to.
I think it's the surgeries. Too many surgeries, man. I mean, this guy's hips,
Yeah.
which I mean, this guy was jumping, blocking a field goal. I thought that was pretty cool. We had a Crawford sighting, right?
Yeah,
98. I thought 98's jersey was in the closet deep in the back with cobwebs.
I had to do a double take, bro. I had to do a double
I'm telling you, I was like, oh, who that? I had to look at my
no.
roster sheet. He's still here? No, but honestly, he this is his last year, and they won't bring him back. They're going to build around Tank, build around Gallimore, Randy Gregory, guys like this, and just get that D-line refreshed.
I really do like the way Randy Gregory played. Speaking of Gregory, Mike, he really does. He really can come off the sofa and produce it. It's really incredible. So, man, I can just imagine 2021, no more suspensions, a full off season with the Cowboys. He might be the best pass rusher on the damn team. So, I don't want to get my hopes up because something always happens, but they did loosen up the rules and things like that for these types of issues that Randy's had. And so, but man, knifing through, he's got the moves, the bend. He looked really good in that Pittsburgh game, Mike.
And I like the weight that he's at. I thought he was too small. And if you guys remember, I think Brian Broaddus did a scouting report on him. He had a hard time putting on weight. Mm-hmm. And now that he gained 10, 15 to 20 pounds, I like the size that he's at. And if he can get used to playing at that size and keep that weight on, we got something in Randy Gregory.
That's a great point. And that's a really great remembering of the conversation on him, because I remember that too, Mike. Great point there. I remember they were like, hey, his metabolism was really high and it could keep the weight on and this and that. So, yeah, that's a great callback. Appreciate the question, Robbie. Michael Beers, do we draft outside linebacker or 4-3 defensive end next year, Mike? Great question.
I think that is a good question because, I mean, if you look at the linebacker position, all you got consistently there is Leighton Vander Esch, right? And then you look at your defensive linemen. You got Randy Gregory, Tank Lawrence, Neville Gallimore. Yes, you want some good depth. You don't want bridge players. I think you got to go BPA. You don't want if the best defensive lineman's there, draft them. If the best linebacker's there, draft them. You don't reach for a need. Reach for the best player available, kind of like how they did with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that they got to figure out, and maybe we're going to see it, these final games is it going to be an official 4-3 or are they going to be full-blown 3-4? They can't do this purgatory hybrid bull crap anymore. So if it's going to be 4-3, Michael, I think, it's not a good draft class for defensive end and outside linebackers. It's just not a very good draft class. There are some players in here that people like. There's a couple that I like as well, but it's not going to go deep. You're going to have to get somebody in the first 2 rounds. After that, you're going to have to hit on a gem. So it's not deep for pass rushers this draft class coming up. So it's really going to depend, Michael. I can't really project too far right now. We have to
absolutely.
wait and see.
But that's why I get the scapegoat of BPA.
Yeah, the scapegoat. Yeah, great question. But we'll see, man. Are they going to be 4-3 or are they going to be 3-4? That's the biggest thing we got to find out. Do they keep Nolan or do they bring in another guru, a 3-4 guru, or something like that? That'll be a hint. You know what I mean?
Wade Phillips
is out there. And a couple other good ones out there I think might hit the market. Matt Patricia. Maybe he wants to I don't know if he's going to make it there with Detroit, but he's a 3-4 guy. But he might go back to daddy in New England.
Yeah.
And who else is out there? We talked about Zimmer. If he doesn't make it there, that would be an incredible 4-3 hire. If he's available, I'm running to the damn Air Force One and getting him on the plane or whatever, and
Air Force One. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see, but there's going to be a lot of turnover too. Every season, there's turnover with coaches, so the Cowboys do have to be careful with that. So it's going to be interesting offseason as far as that goes. Appreciate the question, Michael. Jalen needs to go bye-bye. Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't realize that guy's name was Michael. You kept saying Michael. I thought you were talking directly to me. I was like, this guy never calls me Michael.
No, I don't. I call you Mike.
Yeah, I was so thrown off there for a second.
Yeah. Lies, baby. We taking that quarterback. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Like I said, the Cowboys are in a really good position. They can't go wrong with this. You know what I mean? So, if they're in the top 3, you can still get a ransom for somebody. Especially if Trey Lance declares and people fall in love with him. Some people are falling head over heels over Zach Wilson from BYU. He could be in the mix. So the more quarterbacks that get pushed up in the draft, the better for us. If we're, especially if we're keeping Dak, you know what I mean?
And let me say this. Lies, baby. We're taking a quarter. Let me say that there were some YouTube channels last year that were saying just because Dak Prescott's tagged, he can't get traded. That's false. That's false information. He is, if they franchise tag Dak Prescott again, he can be traded. And what happens is the Cowboys give Dak Prescott's agent permission to go talk to players that he might want to get traded to. So then before the trade even happens, they get the permission. The agent goes talk to these teams. They already have the deal set forth. They trade that franchise tag and Dak Prescott to that team, and they already have the long-term deal in place. So watch out for channels telling you bogus lies. They are out there. So
yeah,
it is definitely he can get traded, and we got to watch that kind of move in the draft too, especially where the Cowboys are picking, because this is the NFL. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, man. They could pull something out again, man. I mean, I don't think anybody saw us taking CeeDee Lamb, right? Fell into our laps, and they made the pick. So, yeah, it's Jerry being Jerry. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be a hell of an offseason, Mike. I can't wait, man, to cover this team, the draft, free agency, the drama that comes with the Cowboys. It's going to be on. It's going to be on.
Yep.
See what else we got here, guys. Keep scrolling through here. Appreciate everybody that has joined us live. In effect, we're going to go till 8 o'clock tonight. So let's get a couple more in here. Brandon Boyce, can we please see Bradley and I? Yeah, we talked about him. Let's get him out there. Let's see what we got here, guys.
I wonder why they did deactivate him, though. Why did they deactivate him?
I don't get it.
Because he was playing a little bit, and I really haven't. And I'm guilty here. I haven't turned on the film and even watched Bradley and I. I mean, have you seen anything that would deactivate him, Joe?
She's just not getting the opportunities. They're going with Dorrance Armstrong and these guys, and obviously you brought in Randy Gregory, he has elite pass rushing. You're not gonna do anything there with that. But I think it's the Armstrong. I think is what's kind of holding it back. You know what I mean? I think that's what's holding this whole thing back with getting him in here. Dan Quinn, yes. Darrence Davis, yes, sir. Dan Quinn would be a really good one, man. I love those. I like him and Bradley, Gus Bradley, Dan Quinn. Those two guys, I think, are really good, man. 4-3 guys.
You think if they pick up Tack McKinley, they'll bring in Dan Quinn?
I mean, it would probably be something that they would consider, right? Because there's some history there. But then again, maybe Dan Quinn's not a fan of Tack, so we'll see, man. Supposedly the Cowboys are. I think they might be kicking the tires on that. So we'll see if it becomes a Wilburn Clay reclamation project. They like to do that, so I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, guys, I wouldn't get my hopes up that he's going to come out here because that happened to us already. We got burnt with Everson Griffin, So if they do bring him in here, temper the expectations. You know what I mean? He doesn't have many sacks. So he's not. Hey, it's that 2017 draft class, Mike. So Charles Harris, total bust. Taco Charlton, total bust. Tack McKinley, the Falcons leapfrogged us to get him. He really he's kind of a bust. He's kind of a bust.
Remember when they drafted him, he got on stage with Deion Sanders, was like, I'm going to prove the world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. So
I'm going to get cut in 3 years. He didn't mention that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. Maybe they do bring him in. Maybe he turns it around. Who knows? But
he's been hurt. He pulled a hamstring against the Cowboys, or a growing injury against the Cowboys.
Yeah, he has.
And he was hurt last year too. So there's just some injuries there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has missed a lot of time too. So we'll see right there. Let's see what else we got in here, guys. Keep them coming. Questions and comments. Appreciate you guys. Cap mode, baby. You know how we do it. Charles Mabry, what's going on, bro? Good to see you in here. Novell is a stud, yes. Looking very good, man.
Looking very nice.
Pick. Looking pretty good, man. Looking pretty good. Patrick Surtain or Javon Holland. Yeah, those two guys are high on the list. Javon Holland actually had a really good PFF grade, I think, last week. If you're into PFF grading, some people aren't.
Come on, guys, drop some questions in here.
Do you pay Aldon Smith? He kind of disappeared. Is he hurt? Great question here. What do you think, Mike? They didn't want to trade him. They got a trade offer from, I think, the Seahawks, right? And they didn't go with it. So what's the deal here with Aldon? And what do you think is going on there, Mike?
Well, I'm going to be straight up, and I get it. He's up in age. He hasn't played in 5 years. When he scooped up that fumble and started running, the dude looked like he was in slow motion. He looked slower than Jason Witten out there. So he could be hurt. I'm not knocking him. I'm just pointing out facts here. He didn't look fast when he scooped and tried to run with that football.
No,
and if you look at at the first of the year, there was some speed. I think Sunday Night Football was saying this almost looks like prime time Aldon Smith, blah blah blah. But when he picked up that ball the other day and started running, he did not look 100% running that ball. So he could be hurt.
No, great point, man. He really did. He looked like he was running in slow motion. So, and I think he is dealing with something. If I remember correctly, he sat out some practices and
that is true. Yes, he did. He hurt his foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised. He might be trying to play.
Oh, with the knee injury. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stevie Mac.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense there. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what else we got here, guys. I like this one here. Darrence Davis, please draft Micah Parsons when Sean Lee leaves. Darrence, we are on the same page because, depending on what the Cowboys do, right? If they're in striking range of Micah Parsons, oh man, this guy, and he comes from the same college. Like, how crazy would that be, right? So, hell of a player, man. He's one of my favorite linebackers coming out. So yeah, man, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Bring him on.
Alden did have an injury knee. Steelers game with Zeke. Okay.
Didn't he opt out of the 2020 though?
Yeah, he did. So the thing about Micah would be, you got to watch and see is there going to be rust? How is he going to look like the combine is going to be huge for him. You know, he should grade out really well, but if he shows any kind of slowness or stiffness, in doing some of these drills, it could hurt him. And the other thing about it too, if you opted out and you don't want to participate in the combine, that's a little bit of a red flag. So that'll be something that you'll want to monitor. That could drop him a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
in the draft. Yeah. So little storylines that we got to follow. Patrick Surtain, Ninja Nuts. Yeah, one of my favorite guys. I wouldn't mind seeing him across from our boy Trevon Diggs. They played together, and I'm pretty sure, that combo would be shut down city, baby. Holy cow, that would be awesome. And right now at number 3, you're in striking range. I have Surtain going early. I think he's, perhaps the best one. I know some people like the Virginia kid. He is pretty good. I like him. But for me, Surtain, the bloodlines, playing in big games. I just like that. I like the pedigree of that. The Reaper, I think more likely is 2-14 because they want Andy Dalton. Yeah, so that's what we said earlier, Mike. So is this team more on the 2-14 scale or on the other side of going on a 7-game run and going 9-7? So I just don't see it with Andy Dalton. I think it's a little bit of a hint. It's a little bit of a hint. Now, I don't know if you guys caught this. I did tweet this over the weekend. Terry Bradshaw did mention, and he was quite serious. He wasn't joking about this. He said that he heard the Cowboys want the number 1 pick. Okay. Did anybody else catch that in the pregame? I did. I tried to go back and look for the recording. I looked everywhere. I tried to find the recording, but
if you're in the top 5 in this draft, who doesn't want the number 1 pick? If you're top 5 and it's already about to be week 9 now, I mean, who wouldn't want the first round pick, or the first overall pick in the first round? You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want that? You'd be crazy not to want that.
I wouldn't mind having it. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having it, man. I'll be 100%.
Last time they had the first overall pick, who'd they draft, Joe?
Troy Aikman, and that
Troy Aikman.
That was the last time the Cowboys have used our first round pick on a quarterback. From just an overall thing, we're talking about football. You would expect your franchise to have drafted more quarterbacks in the first round. And it's been since '89. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
they gotta jump in the pool. They can't be scared. And just dabble their toe in there. They gotta take that leap at some point, man. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for tonight's show. Great questions, great comments. I mean, really, guys, we can't do this without you. We're all going through the season together. We're going with the silver linings. We're talking about, what we don't like, what we do like. We're talking draft now. That's starting to ramp up. But man, shout out to all you guys in the chat box, everybody that watches this on the replay. You know what I mean? Like, for fans to show up day in and day out, even when the Cowboys are losing, it's an amazing testament to the heartbeat of Cowboys Nation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate you guys. Thanksgiving's coming up, so Joe's giving some early thanks to you guys, and it's definitely I echo it too, guys. I appreciate it. I look forward coming on here every Tuesday, chatting it up in the chat box, answering you guys' question, collaborating with Joe here, Cowboys Blog, the best to do it. It's just fantastic. And if you guys got a friend that's on the road, always driving, and you tell them, look at the Frisco Report, iTunes, Spotify, Podbeam, type it in, listen to these guys. They don't sugarcoat it. They tell it how it is. They're not sore losers. They give you facts. They give you stats right here on the Frisco Report, guys. So share it with a friend. Cowboys Corner, _Cowboys Corner on Twitter, guys. Follow me on YouTube right here, Cowboys Corner. And we'll just give it to you.
That's what it is, guys. We really appreciate you. We'll catch you guys next Tuesday for the next Frisco Report. Peace.